Matteo is feeling like a failure. At this point in his life, he's not sure who he really is or what he's going to do with himself. He sees other people his age accomplishing things, and when he compares his life to theirs, he feels like a total loser. He hears it from other people too. His Aunt Sophia actually calls him a loser and tells him he needs to get his shit together. Matteo really has a good heart, and he's not afraid to work, but right now he really feels like a failure, and that is a problem. If you're in your 20s and still living with your parents, unemployed or in a dead-end job, struggling on your way to adult independence, or you're just a wayward soul still trying to figure your life out, maybe you too have days when you feel like a failure. In this video, we will explore how the very word failure can make your already difficult journey even harder, and we will give you some better ways to think about and talk about your situation. So if you're feeling like a failure, or if someone else has put that label on you, this content could be helpful for you. It's easy for a young person today who's struggling to feel like a loser or a disappointment, especially when they compare themselves to others or to some vague image of who they should be at this point in their life, or when they are struggling with their relationships, employment, or finances. Everyone has times in their life when they feel like a failure or a loser. It sets the stage for negative emotions like depression, fear, and anxiety. It lowers your self-esteem and can lead to self-doubt and harsh self-criticism. It can make even small setbacks seem overly large. Feeling like a failure creates a vicious cycle of negative thoughts and emotions, making it harder for you to take risks and overcome challenges. It can set the stage for increased problems over time as the effects of little bad decisions just stack up. And it can get you into a dark place where you're seeking comfort from distractions, doing things like excessive scrolling and binging, or avoiding responsibilities with time spent gaming or sleeping, or avoiding interactions and conversations with other people, or even just struggling to make eye contact in the fear that someone else is going to discover the truth about you. And to say that you're a failure isn't just that you're living under a cloud of disappointment and dread about how your life is going. Failure is a specific word that can shape how you feel about yourself and how you think others might feel about you. It goes right to your fundamental human needs for acceptance, belonging, respect, capability, and social status. To say that you are a failure, that's a really serious thing to say. The only thing worse than feeling that way in private, though, is when other people slap the word failure on you. Sometimes people can say those things when they're upset or trying to motivate you with tough love or shame or some other misguided effort to get you up and on your way. You might be familiar with the term failure to launch. It's used a lot to describe situations where emerging adults are still living like adult children who are broadly dependent on others. The expression is so well established that professionals, therapists, and counselors, smart people with good intent, they say it every day. In academic content, they just shorten it to the letters FTL for everyone's convenience. But here at the workshop, we challenge. No, hell, we totally reject that expression because the key word, the operative word there, is failure. So someone is failing, or worse, they are a failure? Okay, let's toss the word failure and try out the word lost. Lost is the word emerging adults often use when talking about their struggles. They talk about being lost among conflicting expectations and social, cultural, or family messages, and lots of things they don't know how to do, and some they just don't want to do. Sometimes a stack of these things can get so daunting that it just becomes paralyzing. People describe that lost is how they feel when they're lacking direction, struggling with confidence, fearing failure, emotionally exhausted, and feeling very much alone. They talk about feeling so lost in their lives that they don't have any real plans, and they're not making progress or effort in any direction. We've all been lost in some way at some time, either literally or figuratively. Being lost doesn't carry with it any implications about foolishness, immaturity, character flaws, or bad intent. Sometimes a person just doesn't know their way, or they have things to learn or sort out, or they take a wrong turn and they get lost. There's no dishonor in being lost or needing help. When someone is lost in a place that is strange to them, or has their car stuck in a ditch, or they're lost in an emotional way like after a traumatic setback, our good human instinct is to help them get sorted out and on their way, not frown and wag judgment at them. Let me say it directly. You're not a piece of shit if you're lost. You're just lost. Trading the word failure for the word lost can be incredibly helpful because it shifts the framing of your situation from one of inherent deficiency to one of temporary disorientation. It can greatly reduce feelings of shame and self-blame, and it opens the door for self-compassion. It invites a growth mindset with confidence that learning, problem solving, and improvement are possible. It encourages active seeking rather than giving up, including trying new approaches. It acknowledges that a journey is going on and figuring things out is a process. It allows for missteps and detours as part of the learning curve. It normalizes the whole thing on a human level and makes it lots easier to take help or guidance from others, opening the door for healthy conversations, mentorship, and support. And it's not just an internal thing about your personal mindset. When someone describes you or your situation as failure, you don't need to take it. Try to watch out and observe when someone is throwing language like that at you. Make an effort to just not receive it or internalize it. It may be hard at first, but with practice you can learn to hold other people's words at an emotional distance and not let them hurt you inside. When you can, try to gently redirect them and their words to the perspective that you're just lost right now. People will connect with the experience of being lost and maybe offer supportive stories of struggles they've had or challenges they faced along the way. It will invite help with problem solving and set the stage for specific things you might like to talk about or get help with. Consider how it sounds when you say things like, "I'm lost trying to figure out what kind of job I want," or "I'm lost trying to make sense of my finances." Admitting that you're lost is an act of vulnerability that can actually strengthen relationships. It shows trust in the other person and invites them into a supportive role. When you describe your situation as lost to others, it fosters a more positive and productive interaction. It transforms potentially isolating and shaming experiences into an opportunity for connection, empathy, and collaborative problem solving, which are super important for your adulting journey. So don't participate in the negative labels. When other people throw negative language at you, calmly deflect it and offer the word lost for their consideration. You'll see how your conversation with them feels and plays out quite differently. So if you're feeling sometimes like a failure these days, try to take the perspective you're just lost. That's not to minimize or make light of the things that are challenges. You might have some big things to sort out, but let's lose the negative labels and mindset. You will find that more constructive language can set the stage for caring, helpful, and even transformative conversations. You're not failing to launch. You're just lost in place. This Lost in Place workshop episode was developed, written, and narrated by Marty. It was designed, illustrated, and produced by the artist Bardo. Our channel manager and program director is Mackenzie. You can learn more about us on the homepage for this channel. If you like this content, please give it a thumbs up. If you know someone who might benefit from watching this, take just a second to share it with them. And please leave your thoughts or suggestions in the comments below and let us know if there are topics you would like for us to address in future videos. You may want to click on the link here to check out our video on how to manage feelings of shame and guilt you might be having. And if you haven't already, be sure to click the subscribe button so you'll know right away when the next Lost in Place workshop presentation drops. Thanks.